Hi everyone, welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. Today I thought we would color out of one of Belba Family's new books. This is Stone Mosaic, Stone Mandalas. They have two versions of this out. They have the black edition and the cream edition. I'll link both of those books down below in the description. And today I thought I would color with the Cali Art brush markers. I don't color with these near enough. This is what they look like. It's nice because they actually have the color number on the barrel. Most markers don't have this, including even Copics. So if for some reason you have both caps off, you can't tell which marker goes to what caps, right? Cali Arts, you can. So nice that they have that. I don't know how often you'd have both caps off, but it's still nice to have. So I thought we would color. Let's see what the first one looks like. Ooh, that's pretty detailed. Let's go on to the second. Yeah, let's do the second one. Cardstock. Now, I don't really have the Cali Art markers figured out as far as colors for Belba Family, but I do have just some colors jotted down over here for a different series of books, so I'm just going to use the colors from that, and hopefully I can figure out what's needed for here. So we'll start out with number one right in the middle, and that is peach. So Y701 and salmon pink. Okay. All right, let's zoom in and we shall chat for a while. Still trying to catch up on videos, so we'll see how long this goes. Of course, I say that all the time and it ends up being an hour anyhow. How is everybody doing? We are doing, I'm doing okay. Bob, not so much. And we'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to start the video out on a bad note. So, if you've seen my last color and chat, I had just mentioned about going to the neurologist to see what is going on with my shaking, and then once in a while I jerk. This has been going on for so long, and it's just driving me crazy. So, had to go through a whole bunch of, she, had me do this, had me do that. She ruled out Parkinson's, thank heavens, because they have slower motions where mine's real fast. And so I'm going to have to go through a brain scan. I think I have one up there to scan. Don't know when that'll be. She says it could be 3 weeks. Well, I had my appointment last Wednesday, so they probably won't be contacting me for quite a while yet. Ugh. Why do they take so long? So yeah, don't know anything yet about that. So yeah, that's the update on me. Nothing big. How is the weather by you guys? I always got to mention the weather. It was absolutely glorious here. I don't know if I had mentioned in my last color and chat, I think I did, about how absolutely hot and gorgeous it was here. We smashed records because we were in the lower 90s. But it was very humid too, so we actually turned on the air, our central air. And we don't turn on central air too often, but yeah, it was getting pretty miserable in here. So yes, the central air went on. See how easy this is to color when it's black background? Doesn't take long at all. But, yeah, 90s last week. Mother Nature is still being so fickle because we're going to be 30 degrees colder by the end of this week. We're only supposed to get low 60s. Even one day we're supposed to be a high of 58. I mean, come on. Good heavens. One of the nights there's even a chance of frost. Frost. It's mid-May. Come on, Mother Nature. Getting a little ridiculous. I think that's why none of my daffodils bloomed. None of the tulips bloomed. I mean, they were out of the ground quite a few inches, and that's when we had that hard freeze and we had gotten a whole bunch of snow. So all the tips of the leaves all turned yellow and brown. Even my irises out in the front flower bed, all of the tips of the leaves are all dead. But with all that nice hot weather, all our trees are budding out and the leaves are half out now. Oh, it's so pretty. Instead of those ugly, naked trees. Another reason I hate winter. Yuck. It's just not pretty around here. The only time it's pretty in wintertime is when you're getting in the way here. Let's turn this way. Is when you have like fog in the morning and it's, below freezing and you get all the beautiful frost on the trees. And that is pretty. That makes what do they say? A postcard or card picture. Yeah, that's pretty. But other than that, and the snow for Christmas. I can't imagine, being in the 70s and 80s for Christmas. That would take some getting used to. But anyhow, so yeah, weather here is still up and down. Ugh. So let me know what it's like by you guys. I know in the south it has still been unbearably hot. I said send some of that up here. Especially by the end of this week. Ugh. So we are going from having central air on. Now I had to turn the furnace back on. Jeez. My furnace and central air are very confused. They're saying, make up your mind. Be nice when I can just turn it off. When it was so beautiful out, I was sitting out in the sun, out on the front lawn swing with Bella. And I was holding on to her leash. And it's a really nice long one so that she can walk around quite a bit. Of course, she always has to go way out to the end of her leash. She always has to push it, right? But this time she was kind of sitting close to me on the ground by the swing. Well, Bella likes to go crazy with the squirrels. Ooh. Oh, she's under my desk. Usually all she has to do is hear that word. And, yeah, all of a sudden she must have seen one. And she goes tearing off to try to get this squirrel like she always does. Well, the leash itself was up against my right calf. And when she took off, that leash just went across my calf. Oh my heavens, did that hurt. Oh, I have this horrible rope burn, leash burn across my calf. Oh, and that whole night it just stung. Oh man, didn't look absolutely horrible at that time until the next day. Oh wow, it's nasty. Naughty dog. Hurt Mama like that. We'll go back in there. All right, number, do we have twos? Yeah. Twos are yellow. So, what do I picked out for yellow in this book? Y107. Okay. So, yeah, she was not nice. And of course, you know, she can't catch a squirrel. I don't know what she's thinking. She's fast, but she ain't that fast. Yeah, she thinks she is, but... So, yeah, give Mama a boo-boo. Bob says, Bella, naughty dog, hurt Mama like that. He said, yeah. So mean. Let's see. It's beautiful out today, but it's, yeah, quite a bit cooler. Really nice and sunny. Did anybody see the lunar eclipse the other night? It was really nice and clear here that night for a change. Usually you can't see that kind of stuff around here because it's usually cloudy. But that night it was nice and clear. I can't remember what night that was. Was that over the weekend? And yeah, it was really neat. It was, I think it was also called a blood moon. But I heard on TV it was called a lunar eclipse. But it was like real orangish yellow. Just, yeah, really looked different. But yeah, really cool. What's the next number? We have a lot of 10s. Let's do 10s, and that's scarlet. So I don't have scarlet on here, but that's a red, I'm assuming. Yeah. So, R107. R107. Okay. So, yeah, that was neat to see. Boy, this isn't taking too long. We might have to go on to the next one. Depends how long I jabber. Oh, we had something happen this past week, too. We ended up having to call the cops. Yeah. Not too often you gotta call the cops. At least not around here. Not too much happens around here. Which can be a good thing and a bad thing. But my neighbor across the street, the only neighbor that we really talk with, she's really nice, had stopped to get her mail, which is right up the street, kind of across from our house. And she seen me outside with Bella. And so she stopped and she said, don't go on the side of your house, on the west side, which our neighbor to the north always parks his truck over there right in front of our house. It's like, park it in front of your own house. He's the one we always call Mr. Krabby Pants because, yeah, both him and his wife are just so unfriendly. I talked about them before in my color and chat. But yeah, he has to park in front of our house rather than his own. So it's a pain in the butt to mow the boulevard around his rear view mirror that sticks out. Anyhow, I won't get on that tangent. She said there is a raccoon under that truck, and she had seen it cross the road as she was getting her mail, and it was not acting right. Its head was kind of going cockeyed from side to side, and yeah, so we figured it probably had rabies. And she says, don't go over there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. So I took Bella back inside. And of course I wanted to see it. It's kind of like, an accident. You can't look away. So yeah, I took Bella inside, and then I just went to the corner of my house and kind of peeked around at it. And the truck is kind of right there. But, yeah, I stayed kind of hidden by the house. And I could see it under there. It had moved because my neighbor said it was up by the front tire. Well, when I seen it, it was down kind of under the middle of the truck, then up against the curb. But it wasn't moving. At least I didn't see it move. And so, yeah, we had called the cops. And they said, okay, it's already been called in. And yeah, a couple minutes later, the marathon cop pulled up. And he was looking at it and looking at it. Well, first we had talked with him, and he said, just talked about it. And he said, yeah, it was, called in. And then Mr. Krabby Pants came out. And he said, oh yeah, it was called in by him. And so he must have noticed it under the truck first. And so he was talking with the cop. And he kind of told us before that he thought he was just napping. And that's when it was super hot out. It was in the 90s and really muggy. And, Bob and I agreed, maybe it was just really super hot and had to get some shade. So it's like, okay, that's a relief. Poor little guy, but hope he can get some water or something somewhere. If he would have stayed under there, we probably would have brought some water out for him. So, him and the cop and our neighbor were just standing out there talking. So Bob and I went back in the house. And, oh gosh, I don't know how much later it was. Quite a while. I don't know if it wasn't a half an hour. It couldn't have been that long. But probably 15 minutes. So I'm assuming the cop was kind of monitoring it and watching it. And it must have moved and went across the street. And the cop must have then seen that, yes, it was indeed walking funny and acting not right. Because we're sitting in the house and all of a sudden we hear bang, gunshot. That's right out your living room window. If that don't scare the bejeebies out of you, man. Bob and I look at each other and we're like, yep. Poor thing. I felt so bad for it, but put it out of its misery, I guess. And so we, right away looked out the living room window, and yeah, it was across the street under a tree. And the neighbor had come over with plastic, a big sheet of plastic, I guess he had laid it over the top of the raccoon, and I imagine to dispose of it. I'm not sure where the police go with this type of animal, but I'm assuming it has to be disposed of in a proper manner, especially when it's a diseased animal like that. But yeah, sad, sad. I'm just so glad that it didn't bite anybody or any animals. I'm sure we would have heard about it if it did. I'm sure it would have been even on our local news. Yeah, it doesn't take much to get on our local news. We're such a small community around here. So, yeah, sad, sad, but yet nobody was injured. So, that was the excitement for that day. If you could call it exciting. Not for the poor little raccoon. Although it wasn't little, it was a pretty big raccoon. I'm just glad I hadn't taken Bella over that side or taken her for a walk that way when that thing was under there. You don't know if it would have came out from under there and went after us. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that have been horrid? Wow. But it didn't, so no what ifs. Okay. So I haven't, well, I guess I've been coloring, but not as much as I had been in the past. But I am working on a picture with, sit down, Prismacolor pencils. And it is a double page spread in Kirby Rosanna's book, Worlds Within Worlds. Yes. Okay, now you can get up. Oh my gosh, I am so proud of that picture so far. Oh, it is turning out so nice, if I say so myself. Now, I can't take full credit for this picture because I am following a tutorial by Karen from, what's her name again? My Colorful Country Life, I think is her channel name. And oh my gosh, can she color? Oh, just gorgeous. And she colors the way I do, which is not layering and building up color and all of that. She blends more than layers, and that's how I color. Go to 11, which is red, and that scarlet is red. Scarlet is a dark red. I know, doesn't make sense, but so for a dark red, what are we going to pick for a dark red? I have maroon down here. Let's see, 427, 437. Let's see what this looks like. That's really dark. What's the one before that? Yeah, that's kind of the same. It's a little bit lighter. Well, let's go with the little bit lighter one. Okay. And so, yeah, I've been working on that. I haven't now for a while because of everything that happened with Bob, which we'll get into next. So, yeah, I've kind of had to put it to the side, but I did spend last week like 3 days on that picture. And because I am following a tutorial, I can't watch other creators' videos at the same time. So I'm getting so far behind watching other videos. And there's so many I want to watch. So tonight I'll be busy with editing and uploading a bunch of videos I'm hoping to get recorded today. I have a couple that are going to be a little bit longer though, so don't imagine I'm going to get all of them, because all of them done. Because I also have some flip throughs, so maybe I'll try to get the flip throughs done. They don't take near as long. And then I have a couple of swatching videos, and you know those always take longer. So I may, well, I know I will have to record tomorrow also. I just hate coming in here, setting everything up. And once I'm set up, it's fine. Then I like to just keep recording one after another as long as I'm in here, and phone's all set up, iPad, you know, everything else. So, yeah. We'll see. It's in the afternoon, so I'm going to record till whenever I have a good breaking point. I know I won't have supper on time, but that's okay. I want to record as much as I can. Okay, we have some... Oh, missed a 10. Why didn't you guys tell me that? And that was our 107. You guys see anything else that you didn't tell me about? Okay, I think we got them. Now we have some 16s. 16s are dark blue. So we have 16 and 18. 18 is green. And, okay. Napoleon blue looks dark. B028. 028, okay. And then 18 is green, so it should be pretty. All right. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, recording. So, yeah, I'll be spending tonight doing that, so won't get to color tonight or diamond paint. Maybe later tonight. I kind of like to do one or the other before I go to sleep, just to kind of wind down and relax. I don't know if you've seen my diamond painting unbagging last week from, oh gosh, which company was it? But I said I couldn't wait to open up those because there was one of an angel that had rainbow colored wings. It was just gorgeous. And I wanted to start that one so bad, but I had to show them on the channel first. Yes, I have started that one. I told you I couldn't wait. So I did work on that one a little bit the past couple nights. So yeah, I don't know, kind of been in the diamond painting mood again, more so than coloring, but that always switches back and forth. Those of you who do multiple crafts, you, I'm sure, know what I'm talking about. You really get in a mood to color or to diamond paint, or if you crochet, whatever crafts you do, kind of switch back and forth, don't you? I know I definitely do. And it's like once I get a book out and a certain set of markers or fine liners, I stay in that book for quite a while, and I'll do a number of pictures in a row because I have the book out, I have my coloring medium out, so why put it away and get something else out, right? Yeah. So yeah, I end up doing sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures in the same book. Just easier. It's called being lazy. especially if it's in a book you really like how I colored a ton in Alice Mills cross stitch books. Yeah. Okay, all we have left is 18, which is green. All right, let's do G318. Kelly Art brush, anyhow, doesn't have a real good just plain green, so this is about as good as it gets. But it's pretty close. Especially, that's true, on this black paper, your markers stay a little bit darker, just a shade darker than what it would be on white, just because of having the black on the reverse. So maybe on here it will stay nice and green. Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, that looks good. So, yep, been working on that angel. And I didn't realize it's the title of that diamond painting is Crying Angel. And I thought, oh, I guess I didn't really realize that this poor angel was crying. She had her head down, you know, kind of on her knees with her arms around the knees, and it's, yeah, Crying Angel. It's like, oh, poor angel. So I do want to work on that. It is only a 30 by 40, so it is a full drill, but just a 30 by 40, so it won't take too long to do. Oh, felt the sneeze coming on. Don't want to sneeze in your ear. Whew. So, another reason I kind of wanted to do a few smaller ones is, again, if you've seen my diamond painting unbaggings last week, I showed, or actually I put one up yesterday and today too. One of them had a new framing option, and I wanted to try that out on maybe a 30 by 30. And then if I was able to do it, I was going to do a video on it, because it looks really neat in the really quick video that I watched. And of course, this person probably did it a gazillion times and made it look so easy. And of course, it's going to be 1,000 times harder than that. But we shall see. So yeah, use just a small one, because I think there's enough on that roll for, was it like 3 30 by 40s? Something like that. Maybe not, I can't remember. I have so many videos in my mind to do. I have to write them all down though, because they're just swirling around in my head. I hate that. And I am such a list person, so I definitely have to write everything down. And then I'm going to kind of put them in order of how I want to do them. Some of them I really have to get a lot set up in order to do them, so there's a lot of work before I can even do the video. So I'll probably do the easier ones first. Okay, let's get on the subject of Bob. I had indicated, was it Friday? Last Friday? I posted on the community board that there wouldn't be any color and chat, and wouldn't be many videos in general, because I had to run Bob into emergency on Thursday. He just has been going downhill. If you're not familiar with the channel, if you're a new subscriber, my boyfriend of 17 years, oh my gosh, 17, had esophageal cancer and a major surgery 4 years ago, and he has just been through hell and back ever since then. And now, I won't go into everything that he's gone through, but suffice it to say, he has been in the hospital most of the time just as an outpatient. But to have stents put in his esophagus, stents taken out, new ones put in, like over a dozen times, and other things being tried, because when he drinks liquids, he coughs and coughs and coughs. All right, we're done with that one, and I'll get back to Bob. So that is how that one turned out. Isn't that pretty? I like it. Shall we go on to the next one? Sure, why not? Oh, that looks pretty. Oh, I like that one. Let's do that one. I like that one. Ooh, I like that one too. Which one? Which one, folks? Let's do this one. This one looks like it'll take a little bit longer. Start with 3, skin tone. Ooh, what's going to be a skin tone? Let's go with a tan, because I don't know if there's peach. Yeah, there's peach in here, so let's go with a tan. It's a good tan. Let's see what this one looks like. It's a little bit darker than I want. And I don't want to go too much on the yellow or red side either. Maybe I have something over in the pinks that may be kind of on the tan side. Nope, not that one. See, isn't it nicer when I have the colors figured out? Ooh, that one's good. Let's do that. Okay, so where was I? I hate it when I do that. See how different the color looks? Oh, and I'm still zoomed out. Let's zoom back in. How different the color looks when it's still wet versus when it dries. So if you are new to coloring in coloring books that have black on the reverse, don't freak out if your color looks really funky when you first lay it down, because it will with alcohol markers anyhow. So yeah, Bob has just been having problems after problems, and now the past, oh gosh, how many weeks, he has been coughing so bad every time he tried to drink something. And we have gone through this, or him, not me, number of times in the past. He has 2 holes in his esophagus, just real small fistulas, I guess is what they're called. And his doctor figures that they're leaking, and he's aspirating into his lung, his right lung. And so that's one of the reasons he kept trying to put in new stents. The other reason is because Bob's esophagus kept closing up on him, and he wasn't able to swallow food at all. So his doctor has been so good. We're lucky to have him. He's kind of at his wit's end, though, and what else to try. But, yeah, as far as Thursday, Bob had just been going downhill for the past couple weeks. And, not being able to drink much, he, was getting dehydrated, I'm sure. Thankfully, he was able to eat to an extent. But Thursday, he started running a temp. And it got up to over 102. It was like 102.6 or something like that. And he was getting ready for bed. I said, what is your temp now? And he told me, I says, get your pants back on. I said, I'm running you in. That's enough. I'm going to do peach Y701. And he didn't even argue. So I knew he was not feeling good. Because for Bob not to argue to go to the hospital, yeah. And like I said, he just looked and sounded terrible. He even had a hard time getting to the car and getting in. So took him up to emergency. And even though, because he was supposed to go in Friday morning for yet another procedure, so his doctor could see what's going on again. Well, yeah, Friday morning was not going to wait. Not when he started getting that fever, because I knew there was something more going on then. And so he had to have had a COVID test on, is it Wednesday or Tuesday? Because of the procedure he was going to have on Friday. Well, that came back negative. But of course, when I took him into emergency, he automatically had to have another one. So I couldn't stay in the hospital with him until the results came back. Ugh. So there I am, sitting out in the car, wondering what's going on. And typically those rapid tests take like, 15, 20 minutes. Well, they obviously didn't get around to doing it immediately, because 45 minutes to an hour later, Bob finally called me and said I can come in. It's like, yay. So he did, as we knew, he tested negative for COVID. So went in there by him, and he, of course, is just laying there. And when he coughs like that, and coughs, he gets so hot. So he had taken his gown down and was sitting there bare-chested because he was just so hot. And it actually was warm in there. Usually when it's real hot outside, hospitals and grocery stores and all these places have their air turned up so much that it's freezing in these places. No, not the ER room that he was in. And he even asked if he could get a fan or something brought in, because he was just roasting. And so she went to the thermostat and adjusted it a little. It was still really warm in there. So I went to the thermostat and turned it down a little more. Oops. I don't know, my hand just kind of did it. So yeah, we sat there. You know how emergency rooms are. Sat there forever and ever and ever. And finally, the test results come back. I guess they had done a chest x-ray before I came back in, and, you know, they did blood work and all of that. And the test results showed that Mr. Bob had pneumonia in his lower right lung. But not only that, the pneumonia had gotten to the point, because he obviously had pneumonia for quite a while, it had turned to sepsis, which, if you're not familiar with sepsis, sepsis is an infection of your entire body. And it runs throughout your bloodstream, throughout your entire body. And sepsis can go from bad to worse very quickly. There's 3 stages to sepsis. Thank heaven Bob was in the mildest stage. But then there's a middle stage, and then the final stage is called septic shock. And yeah, you can die from septic shock. I mean, you won't necessarily die from it. You can be treated for it, but it is very, very serious. So Bob was put on very strong intravenous antibiotics, a couple of different ones, and he was admitted to the hospital. Much to Bob's disappointment. He hates hospitals, as you can imagine, because he's been in and out of them a lot. Let's do 14, which is light blue. Do B203. So, yeah, he wasn't real happy. But, you know, I kept telling him, it's better to have you treated up here than go home and get really sick. I said, septic is nothing to mess around with, or sepsis. So, yeah, admitted to the hospital, and he had me go home because after the results came in, the hospital was so full, he was probably going to have to spend the night in that very uncomfortable bed in the ER. It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, he was not comfortable in there at all. So, yeah, I had gone home. What time was it? It was after midnight, I know that. So maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I can imagine he didn't get much sleep that night. You don't get much sleep in a hospital, do you? No. They're constantly in and out, checking vitals, all that fun stuff. I didn't necessarily get a lot of sleep either, but that's okay, because I can catch up on sleep. So if there is such a thing, they say you can't actually catch up on sleep, but I beg to differ. So, yeah, he called me then the next day and said they did manage to find him a room. Thank heavens. And he gave me his room number. And so I went up right away to see him. Got there and he was snoozing away. So I just kind of sat there, waited for him to wake up. Let's do the 16s. That's dark blue. That I had as B028. So yeah, then he woke up and we talked, and he wasn't able to eat or drink yet. His doctor did end up, I had said he was scheduled for a procedure on Friday morning. Well, due to the seriousness of him aspirating into his right lung and it even creating pneumonia, his doctor wanted to go back in and try something with regard to those 2 holes in his esophagus. And essentially, I don't know how it works. Essentially what he did was he roughed up the edges and then stapled them shut. Now the holes aren't real big. They're really small, I guess. So I have no idea how that's done, but it is. And so they wanted to wait for Bob to eat or drink anything. And of course he was getting intravenous fluids, so, but he was getting hungry. And they weren't letting him eat. Oh, I felt so bad. And he said they can't let him eat or drink anything until they get the okay from his doctor. So the nurses up there were so good. Every nurse he had was really nice, very accommodating. So they kept trying to get a hold of his doctor to see if he could eat and drink. Finally, a number of hours later, because his doctor was really busy doing procedures in the hospital. And finally, he got back to them and said, yes, he can. So Bob right away ordered his meal. Oh, of course, took a while to get it. They did bring him something to drink right away, though. And it went down fine. He didn't cough. He had coffee with supper. He sipped on a soda. He drinks Ensure so that he gets some protein and there's minerals and vitamins and that stuff. So he had that. Everything went down fine. And the entire time he was in the hospital, it went down fine. When he finally got out of the hospital, because they kept him quite a while. He was supposed to get out, let's see, today's Tuesday. He was supposed to get out on Saturday, but dark blue was, yeah, 60. His doctor wanted him to stay one more day. The infection was just a little bit high yet, where they wanted to keep him on the stronger antibiotics intravenously before they let him come home and take antibiotics orally. And Bob's like, just let me go home. I said, Bob, it's better to stay up here. Let them keep an eye on you for just one more day. One moment. All right, I am back. 15 is blue, regular blue. B016, brilliant blue. Oh my gosh, where was I now? I think it was, okay. So yeah, they kept Bob till Sunday, but they let him out. And he was happy. I was too. I swear to God, I put on, I don't know how many steps those days, because I'd have to park way out in the hospital parking lot, go downstairs, and then he was way in the back. So I had to go down, I don't know how many really long hallways. He was actually over, so far he was by the walk-in, which is way over on the other side of the hospital, because he could see the pond with the aerator in and stuff. Oh, I did have some more 16s. So he knew he was way over there. I hadn't even seen that, but yeah, so I was I was walking a lot. And when I walk, I book it. I don't stroll. So yeah, I got exercise. That was a good thing. But so I went and picked him up, brought him home, said, now make sure you rest. Of course, his antibiotics weren't ready at the pharmacy, so he went and picked them up yesterday. Started taking those. For the first time in years, he actually slept through the night. So those antibiotics must knock him out. He always has to get up to go to the bathroom at least twice. And he didn't get up once last night. It was unreal, he said. Let's go back to that dark blue. I think, yeah, that was this one. So yeah, got a good night's sleep, which he definitely needs. But yeah, I wanted him to just rest that night. And the kids had come over on Saturday to celebrate Mother's Day, because on Mother's Day weekend, which was the weekend before that, they had, you know, my kids' significant others were, you know, I had already plans with their moms, so I said, that's, you know, that's fine. So yeah, we were planning to get together on Saturday. Well, then there was the chance that Bob was going to get out on Saturday. So we were trying to figure out, you know, what the plans were going to be, and that they may have to change at the last minute. Well, then I eventually found out, you know, that Bob wasn't getting out on Saturdays. So that was nice. The kids came over. I got 2 big, beautiful flower arrangements. One was a hanging pot, beautiful purple flowers. My son knows me good. Pink. My son knows me well, I should say. R502. And let's see, is this the pink I want? I guess it doesn't have to match, does it? Their pink is quite a bit brighter. How bright is this one? Ooh, that's really bright. Well, that might be okay. What's this one? No, that's quite on the red side, isn't it? Well, maybe not. Yeah, we'll take the little bit lighter one. Get in there. So yeah, we had a nice time with the kids all over. My oldest daughter wasn't able to make it because she was working. She always has to work Saturdays. She works for FedEx, and they are extremely busy. So, yeah. So, they had left, and yeah, overall it worked out good that Bob first came home on Sunday rather than Saturday, even though he didn't like it. So I've been kind of trying to make him a little bit softer food meals. But he's actually been, you know, eating pretty much everything. But now he's coughing so bad again. It's as bad as it was before. So he just talked with GI Associates a couple hours ago. And they are now talking about, Bob had his major surgery down in Madison, which is quite a hike for us. That's all the way down in southern Wisconsin. It's about 3-hour drive. So, I mean, it could be worse. Could be another state. But, yeah, that's where he had his surgery, where the specialist surgeon was Well, now he may have to go back down to Madison or even Milwaukee, which is at the very southern eastern border of Wisconsin. So that's an even longer drive. That's over 4 hours. But he is thinking that Bob may need to see a pulmonary specialist because there may be, instead of the leak being in his esophagus, it could actually be in the main bronchial tube going into his lung. And I'm like, that makes sense. Well, the best specialist to handle this, because of all the problems and the cancer and all that stuff, would probably not be around here. I mean, we do have pulmonologists around here and specialists, but to handle Bob's unique situation, his doctor kind of feels like, maybe he should go down there. So he's doing some more checking on who best to see, and then hopefully get back to him this week. I'm like, hopefully? Bob can't live like this. I kept saying that last time. He cannot live like this. Just every single time he tries to drink, he just coughs to death. And it's like, do you want him to aspirate into his lung and get pneumonia again, or what? Let's get this going. If he has to go to Madison or Milwaukee, let's get that scheduled, and let something finally take care of it once and for all. I don't know how this man has just been, just so, accepting of everything that he has gone through over the past 4 years. I would have been fed up after 1 year. And he's so kind on the phone to them, because that's just how Bob is. He's a very kind person. Of course, once he gets off the phone, it's a little bit different when he talks to me. But still, overall, he just, yeah. But even Bob is just to the point of getting so frustrated. And he isn't the type of person, though, to give up. Thank God. Oh, thank God. I don't know. I guess, what choice do you have? You give up, well, then you're not going to survive it. But, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I sure am keeping my fingers crossed. I really do appreciate all the thoughts and prayers from all of you. All of the comments that I received when I posted that on the community board. For those of you who've seen it, I know not everybody sees it. I don't see the community board at all on my iPad, which really ticks me off. That's where I watch all my YouTube videos. Well, not mine. All the other creators' YouTube videos. And I can't see the community board on the iPad. I sure wish they'd get that fixed. Irritates the heck out of me. But, yeah, you guys are awesome. I so appreciate that. And I told Bob about it, and he says, tell them thank you. So, thank you from both Bob and I for all the well wishes. And I guess keep the prayers coming, because sounds like Bob will still need them. But by going to the pulmonologist, I wish they would have just, thought of this earlier. But because they had seen these small fistulas in his esophagus, I guess it's just natural to assume that he was coughing when he drank liquids because of those. But yeah, it just makes sense that it's not coming from those. That it is coming from a hole somewhere else, and that, you know, it just makes sense that it would be in a bronchial tube. And in this case, it has to be in the right lung because that's where he developed the pneumonia. And they knew it was sepsis because when I came in, his heart rate was like 110. Well, 110, 108 to 110. That's a pretty fast heart rate. And the doctor said, yeah, that's one real good indicator of sepsis. Because, you know, most people have a lot of times mine is between 60 and 70 resting heart rate. And yeah, 110 is pretty high. But yeah, as you know, the more they took care of the sepsis, the more his heart rate came down. Okay, number 11, red. We're back to red. What was that again? 107. Yep, there we go. I just never think of this. Where are you? Where are you? As red. Well, it looks more red in the camera. But it's not. It's more like a real dark, like melon kind of color. So I don't think of this as a standard red when I look at the cap. But we all know how close marker caps are to the ink, right? Okay, so we're going to finish up this mandala. We're going to finish 2 of them. I think I did this once before. I managed to finish 2 pictures in 1 color and chat. So yeah, as you can see, these go pretty quick. I love them. And thank you again to Belba Family for providing this to me to show you guys. So wanted to show them a little bit of love by doing a color and chat out of it. It's been quite a while, I think, since I've done a color and chat out of one of their books. So I thought this was a good option. It's kind of a no-brainer color by number for today, just because my mind's kind of scrambled yet. And I'm still trying to catch up with stuff in, you know, at the house here, and cleaning and all that stuff. Doesn't take much to get behind, does it? So I still have the bathrooms to clean. Didn't manage. I mean, just wasn't a priority. Wasn't a priority. The main, you know, part of the house got cleaned, but oh well. As they say, there's always tomorrow. Like I said, I'm gonna spend tonight on these videos now. It is just about supper time. I was hoping to have had like 3 videos recorded before supper. I may just, like I said before, have supper late, get some flip-throughs recorded yet. See how much power, battery power I have left in my phone. Should be good yet, because I had it, that was 85% when I started recording, so I always try to be fully charged when I record, just because I do record a number of them at once. Ooh, I just thought of something else though. Didn't check my amount of storage I have remaining on my phone. I usually check that first, because I have this bad habit of not deleting my old videos off once because I have to copy them to my computer, and then I do all my editing and making the thumbnails, getting links, all of that stuff I'll do on the computer. So I copy them from my phone via a program. And oh, there's some more dark blues. And yeah, then I forget. Sorry, did I hit the mic? Then I forget to delete them off my phone. Now, I don't delete them until I actually have them edited and uploaded, because, yeah, I have had things go wrong, and for some reason, they're no longer on my computer. I don't understand. But, yeah, I always wait until I know they're up on my channel, and then I like to go ahead and delete them. But, yeah, sometimes forget. So, maybe I will pause after this. Pause, yeah. Not a pause. I'll stop recording, grab supper quick, see how full my phone is, and then maybe charge it up just a little bit. I'm going to zoom back out. Look what we did. We got 2 of them done. So this is the second one. I love it. I do like that pink. Thank you for the suggestion. And that tan, that worked out really well. Really is different from the peach, which is what I wanted. And then the other one. Whoops, not that one. I'll have to do these other 2 because, you know, I like working from the front to the back. This one almost has Christmas vibes, doesn't it? With the red and the green, and then the peach. It's kind of a darker peach, but that's about... It's not really that dark normally, but again, because this is on black paper, it gets a little bit darker. But because of that, the green did turn out nice. So, yeah. Again, keep Bob in your thoughts and prayers. I know you will. Like I said, you guys are the best. I so appreciate it. And I will keep you posted. Depending on what happens this week with Bob, if we have to travel down to southern Wisconsin and when, I'm sure it won't be this week yet, because you know how that all goes. You got to get the appointment in, and if he's a specialist, he's probably going to be busy and all of that. So like I said, I'm sure it's not going to be this week yet. But seeing as how today's Tuesday with the color and chat, I'm going to try to get a color and chat done this weekend. Might not have too much to chat about, but I do have the Would You Rather book, so we may do some of the Would You Rather questions. But again, I'm going to have to see how this week goes and how busy this weekend is. And if I end up not doing a color and chat like I usually like to do on Sundays, I will post it on the community board, so you can keep an eye out for that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this color and chat and just kind of catching up on everything that's going on around here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Provide any comments down below that you'd like to share. I love reading your comments. I hope everybody had a terrific weekend and is having a fantastic week. And as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.